Remi. I bet this is not your first time here.
It is actually.
Okay.
It is my first time, not my first time in Argentina, but definitely my first time in Resistencia. Definitely not the last one either.
Okay.
I like it there.
And what did you think about the city? What did you like?
I like it. First, I like the weather. Coming from a cold Buenos Aires, it's good to be there. And I like the people. They seem to be very serious, very professional, very devoted to what they do. It gives me a very positive image of Argentina, more positive than the one we can get in other cities sometimes.
You could tell me a little bit about your experience. How did you start in this world of software development?
Well, I started as a teacher, started to teach mathematics, but I did not really like it. And so after a couple of years, I started to code, to become a coder. And after 4 or 5 years, I had an idea for software to help people work together. It was the beginning of microcomputer, and especially microcomputer working connected in a local network. So managed to convince my boss to give us a little budget. We built a tool, and this tool became eventually the biggest player on the European market. A lot of clients all over Europe. We also acquired a company in Switzerland that had a product that complemented our offer, and it went quite well. And we sold everything to France Telecom. Now it's Orange. But after that, I kind of didn't like much France Telecom. I was still a young engineer, only young, mid-30s, and having to deal with the unions, etc. I left and I joined a US company to create the European operations. After 2 years, the European operations represented like 75% of the revenue, so they offered me to relocate to the US. Move to the US with my family was also an opportunity to show something different to my children, different from Europe. So I seized the opportunity. We moved to California. I've been in California 20 years. A few years ago, and I'm fast forwarding here, a few years ago I decided that I wanted to create a company, but this time really with my own founding, to be sure that I would be entirely in control. So the company would not be a subsidiary of like a big Orange, or would be owned by the local financial community in San Francisco, the so-called VCs. And this way I could really implement what I really wanted to implement, and that is what I believe a company should look like in the 21st century. So that's really 62 years of my life summarized in a few minutes.
What advice would you give to people who want to start as a software developer? You talk about you seized the opportunity to go from Europe to the United States. What would you say to other people who may have doubts on seizing opportunities, or guys like this?
Yeah. First, I think the beauty of being a software developer is one of the few businesses or few jobs where we do not see any fundamental changes inside. There will be work and jobs around for software developers in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but then nobody knows really what's going to happen. And that's very different than being an accountant or being a salesperson or being even a marketing person. We will certainly have marketing person and salespeople, but the job might be totally different, and it's not the case for software developers. Of course, technology is going to change completely, but at least those folks here, they know that if they keep working hard, if they embark into continuous training, in 20 years they will have a job, and it will be a well-paid job, even better paid than today. So that the thing is, that's a great thing. It removes the uncertainty of the future, which of course in a world that's accelerating is a big unknown. It's a well-paid job, but it's a demanding job. It's stressful. Software is not a science. Even there's an exact science, so things don't never work according to plan. Things changes all the time, so there is frustration. In my experience, what I noticed and the advice I would give to people is work hard. This is not an 8 hours a day job. This is much more than that. Not everybody likes to work more than 8 hours a day. And the software developers who don't really put this extra effort are not, in my opinion, my humble opinion, are not going to make it too much or to go too far. But the people who are willing to make the sacrifice of working long hours are really on something really great in terms of interest of the job, salary, and again, long-term.
The keyword is also passion.
Absolutely something you have to be passionate. You need to want to be seated on a chair for hours, staring at the computers, sending you weird messages. You need to be willing to always put your knowledge back on the table and learn new things and criticize what you've learned. And yeah, this is passion. Certainly is mandatory. I would say in every profession, but in the software profession, yeah.
Future has locations in several cities around the world. One of them here is Resistencia, I believe Tandil, two.
We have 3 offices in Argentina, Buenos Aires, Tandil, and Resistencia, 3 offices in Mexico, 1 office in Uruguay, and quite recently now 1 office in Spain, and of course in San Francisco.
And what do you look for in a city when you are planning or establishing a new location? What attracts you from a city or location?
Well, first thing is our company is entirely owned by the management and the employees. The management owns 80% of the company, the employees 20%. So when we do something, we do it for the long term. To this extent, we're not necessarily very Californian, we're more Asian. When we make decisions is because we want to do it for the long term, it's never tactical. So when we go to a city, when we go to a place, we look for more and more for places where we can make an impact. We want to be and to become part of the social life. We want to become part of the city. We want to give back. We want to contribute. And of course, if we go to cities like Buenos Aires, Mexico City, Barcelona, it's much harder to make an impact being a small company because of course these are huge cities. And that's why we value much more what I would call tier 2 cities, smaller cities, not too small though, but smaller cities, because it's easier to create an impact, make an impact, and that's what we want to do.
And do you work closely with local colleges, universities?
Well, we just started in Resistencia. We don't have that much experience, but definitely this is the plan. But in Mexico, yes, we work with universities. Not only we work with universities, we have created an internship program. Each year we hire 15 to 20 young people who have 0 experience, and we teach them software development for 6 months, and we pay them during those 6 months. At the end, they pass they have an exam. If they pass, we hire them. If they don't pass, well, they've been trained for 6 months. That's already good. We do this. We also try to be part of the community. We are sponsoring a soccer team in Tandil, but these are kids from the barrio, so we buy equipment for them, etc. You know, the software industry is a fast-moving industry. There is a lot of money, and so we want to be grateful that we are in an industry that enables us to be grateful. I think it's important to, what we say in the US is paid forward. To have people around you benefit from the wonderful chance we have to be in the software industry. We can travel, we have good jobs, we meet interesting people, we have a good paycheck at the end of the month. So we do these kind of things. In Mexico, our CEO, we have first a female CEO, that's not very common in the Bay Area, and then we have a Latina female CEO, which is completely unusual. She's extremely interested into everything that has to do with empowerment of people. Some people in Latin America don't have the chance to to go to the university or to travel. We try to do a little, of course, it's a small contribution, but a small contribution is immensely better than no contribution at all.
So far, our community has a lot of social responsibility. Do you think, how would you define the social responsibility that the software industry has?
Well, I suppose that every single industry we have a social responsibility. We are definitely part of the change. The more software we develop, the less jobs, or I mean, not the less jobs, but the more jobs are displaced and changed, and this creates an impact on the world. It creates a positive impact very often, sometimes a not so positive impact because some little jobs are being replaced or automatized, and those little jobs are extremely important to alleviate poverty. So we have a responsibility here, and we need to take action. And we don't have to say, no, it's technology, the way the world goes. We don't care the way the world goes. We're human before anything else, and it's our duty and our responsibility to take action and to do things.
And how do you believe that societies like ours here in Argentina and developing countries can prepare to this world of automatization, artificial intelligence? How do you believe that we can address those challenges?
I think the city has a lot of potential. Well, first, the city is a relatively big city. It has the infrastructure, the Wi-Fi, the 4G, etc. It has an airport that connects to Buenos Aires, so the city is in a way connected to the entire planet, and that's important. I am extremely impressed by the employees we have here. Their technical skills are as good as in any other place, but I am extremely impressed by their humanity in a way, and how serious they take their role, and how big a desire they have to do something for their own city. And because we have this chance of having such wonderful employees, we want to take advantage and do more in Resistencia, and we're going to do more. We were talking yesterday about starting an internship program here in June. So that will be 15 or 20, we don't know yet, young people who are going to get a job, and many things like that.
How young a child should be to enter the world program? Do you believe there is a minimum age? You know, I have two daughters of 5 and 2 years old. I always tell my wife, we won't send them to dance lessons or paint lessons. No, I want to go to programming school or something like that.
Well,
what do you believe that getting into this world as young as that?
First, I notice, and I'm always amazed when I see little kids, but like 2 years old, 3 years old, playing with the phone or the iPad or whatever, the tablet of their parents. It's amazing how easily they can navigate, and much better than I can. And that's really amazing. I think that understanding programming should be like speaking English. Today, we like it or not, English is the language of the communication. We should teach our kids as soon as possible to speak good English, so they won't end up like me with a very strong foreign accent. They will really speak English with maybe an American and English or an Australian accent, but that would be better. And they should also be exposed to software development, to understand computers. Computers are going to be, they are already human companions, and so it's important to understand how they function. Not to be let alone later in life when they will embrace a career. In our case, we have been doing some experiments. Our CEO has been doing some experiment in Mexico. We couldn't hire because he was only 14 years old, but we had an observer who attended the internship with us. Then he would come to our office every afternoon after class and would work 4 hours for us. We would give him a little retribution, but also he would be exposed to the work of these kind of people, and he would learn a lot. Now he's He's 18 years old, so he left for a bit to go to the university to get a degree. But he's 18 years old, I consider him a senior developer. That's the kind of things also we can do. Why not in Resistencia? We did it very successfully in Mexico. Again, those are the ideas of Rosalba, our CEO. She's unstoppable when it comes to helping people.
And on the other side, how old can a person be to enter into a do you think there's a time limit for that too? Or 30 or 40 years old can still learn something like that?
Well, don't tell me there is a time limit because I'm 62 years old. I'm afraid I will have to leave the interview. I don't think there is any limit. 2 weeks ago, we received a resume in the U.S. of a Korean American person, 55 years old. He wrote to us. He said, "Well, I have been a taxi driver for the past few years. I want to do something with my life before it's too late. I'd like to start coding. I have been learning a little bit on the side, but I'd like to join a company and start learning." So he's in the interview process. Well, because of the structure of our company, he would have to relocate to either Mexico or Argentina. We wouldn't be able to teach, to train him. But if he accepts to relocate, well, then we would have a 55 years old employee, beginner. We have no problem with that. There is no problem. It's always what you mentioned. The keyword is passion. You can be passionate at 7 years old or 77 years old, and you can lack passion, lack desire when you're 5 years old, and lack desire when you're.
So governments can still work to make reprogramming of those people whose jobs are left out to still put those people in the software industry.
You know, I come from France, which is a very social country, and what the government does for older people is more bridge the gap between where they are today and the retirement age, which I think is good, but it's also extremely demotivating because what they're telling people is, okay, we're going to give you some money until the end of your life, but nobody lives only with money or for money. It would be much better to encourage those people to create mentoring programs. Everybody needs a mentor, and the age is of course an advantage when it comes to mentoring. I had until recently a mentor, Russell Berg, who was one of the, at the time of Mr. Hewlett and Mr. Packard, he was the number 3 at HP. Unfortunately, he passed recently, but he was 84 years old. He was my mentor. He's possibly the most brilliant person that I ever met. And when he was talking to me, I was not even like a child listening to him, and that was quite impressive actually. So there is so much that senior people can give to the community, but while we live in a world that admires youth and doesn't really appreciate older age, so we need to pay the price of this. But that's too bad because there will be so much that people will do for the society.